Hello and welcome to another video here. This one is going to be kind of cool. This one is, I'm going to take a picture. We're going to take a picture and we're going to try to make it so that it is layered. It comes out at you. It more than just a picture, more than just an etching or an engraving. This one is kind of neat in the fact that you can do this even without a laser engraver. I'm going to be doing it with engraving and cutting it out in panel board, but you could theoretically do this with cardboard, and you could print the picture and you could cut it out and follow the steps here, follow the steps, put them all on the page, and then print it, glue that page to cardboard and cut them out, and then do what I'm going to do with the engraving. If you wanted to do it on just a regular printer, you would need a piece of cardboard, some glue, and a printer to print in Photoshop. Photoshop would be needed. Although you can do this in Gimp easily enough, because all we're going to be really doing is using layers and paintbrush. So I'm going to do two things though. In this one, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to create a model, 3D model that I can throw to the 3D printer, and I'm going to do the one that I just said with the layers and stuff. So this is like a twofer here. This is doing two things with one process, because I don't want to do another video and then do the exact same process and then just click a different button at the end. So we're going to do the whole thing together here at Creative, and as you all may or may not remember, my name is Brian, and we're going to go ahead and get this started. So let's get creative. Okay, I've gone ahead and I popped into Photoshop here. We're sitting inside of Photoshop. I have just some blank one here open. That's perfectly fine. I'm going to create a new one here. Now, when you're creating yours, if you're going to do it on a printer, you would want this to be the width and height of a piece of paper, so you can put them all in there. For right now, I know that the board I'm going to be etching on is actually 12 by 7, so I'm going to create that one right there. I'm going to close this one out, and this is the one that I will be putting things on in the end, at the end of the process. Now, it's hard to find a picture. I can't find just any picture online because of copyrights and all that other stuff, and I don't want to get in trouble for something like that. So I went and I found a site that does have them. It's called unsplash.com, and it's supposed to be photos for everyone, royalty photos, royalty-free photos. So I grabbed a picture from there. The picture I'm going to use is, I don't know, I have a few here. We're going to pop on down to my drive where I put them, and projects, 3D etch. So I have a few pictures here. I wanted to do something beach-like, something warm and summery, so I haven't decided on which one to use. There was so many good ones. I don't want this to be too complicated or too long, so I'm thinking I could do that one. That one's pretty good because it's got a lot of depth to it. The depth is what we want. We want the depth. But this one could also be pretty good because it's got the rock. It's really going to be down to what we can see and perceive as depth. But I think I'm going to go with this one in the end, because this one is perfect for what I need. Okay, this is a great picture. I believe Christopher took this picture. Let me see. I'm sure it's on here somewhere. Right here. Nate Johnston took this picture right there. So good job, Nate. This is awesome. I'm going to hit the love. Oh, I don't have a login. I don't have Facebook. I guess I should probably get Facebook. Anyway, I will click that. Love this picture in a little bit. Right now, I'm going to go ahead and we're going to pop back over to Photoshop, and we're going to continue. So here's our picture. It's huge. This picture is gigantic. We don't need that much of a picture. I'm actually going to cut this picture right about here. I want it to be like this. Right. So I'm going to go image crop so that I can shrink it down. Now it's still ginormous. What is our image size here? This one is image size 12 by 7 in pixels. That's 864 by 504. So let's go ahead and make this a smart object. And then let's go to image size here. And inches, 27 inches. Yes, 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 yes. We want the height to be no more than 12 inches, but I'm going to say, let's go with 11 inches here, actually. Wait, height is 7, so 7, so we want to go 6. 6 inches. Alright. Whoa, look, it shrunk quite a bit, huh? Increase our height there. Let's increase that a bit. We're going to increase it some more. There we go. Now, we're going to work with this. So what we need to do is we need to have a couple folders here. I'm going to create a folder, a group, and it's right here. I'm going to call this group the black-white K40. Alright. And then I'm going to create another folder. I'm going to call this one the color group. Color groups. Right. And then I'm going to create one more here, and I'm going to call this one the 3D print set. Oh well, I can put a number instead of a 3 because I'm used to that. Okay. Now we're going to need to start off with this one here to do much of any of this. So let's go ahead and let's start with our color groups. So let's go ahead and duplicate this layer. I don't like to change the original, so we're going to go ahead and drop it in color groups. So here we are with color groups. There's our picture. Pretty girl sitting on a rock doing her thing. Let's go ahead and make it a little bit bigger. We're going to need to get in here and actually make some changes to what we've got here. Okay, so we're looking at the depth of this picture, and we have to kind of look like we're looking back into a picture, into the picture itself. So we can tell that these trees are all the way in the back. So what we want to do is we're going to grab our selection brush here, and we're going to just try to come in here and kind of select everything in the back here like that. Don't worry if it's not exact right at first. We can just press Alt and clean it up a little here and there. Alright, we want to make sure we don't include her hair in that background. That background is in the back. Okay, see, so now there we go, we got it. That background looks great. Let's do Control J because we want to make that another layer. Oh, you know what? Before we do Control J, let's do this. We want to take this and we want to just make sure, look, see here, we got one on our back that's all wrong. That would be problematic for us. Not that problematic, but problematic enough where we don't want to do that. So, also, we're going to, since Photoshop likes to select these things and feather things, we're going to do Select, Modify, Expand, and I'm going to go 1 pixel out from what we just selected. And now I'm going to do Control J. That's going to give us the first layer. Alright, this will be the furthest back layer, but right now we're not going to worry about that. So let's see, let's select this one again, and we're going to come back in here, and we're going to try to select this rock. Not this rock. We don't want this one. And we don't want her, but we want this rock. Not her. Just the rock. We want these rocks right over here as well. We don't want that background, we've already got it. So just this rock and yeah, just this rock there. And once again, we'll select, modify, we're going to expand it by 1 pixel, and then we're going to Control J to go ahead and make another layer. Now, come back to this main one. Let's grab this rock down here. Okay, we want to grab this rock, which is pretty much our the whole ground area here. Alright, so we do want to grab this ground area. We want to try to get underneath her leg there. Try to get it as good as possible. We want to go ahead and take out this. We do want to go to that black though, because we did not include that black on the rock from the background there. So let's just go ahead and just do this. Yeah, we need to come in, zoom in a little. And we can shrink this size down a touch. Hit our Alt, and we don't want to select her hand. Her hand needs to be her hand. So we want to get right up on it though. Right up on her hand. We need to make sure that we got right in here on her foot. Alright, not her foot though. The closer you get, the better. There we go. Excellent, just like that. Yeah, oh, right here we got a little issue right there. Just go ahead and take that out. I'm still trying to get it closer. Okay. Those toes look like they could be just a touch. Oops, wrong one. Ah. Okay, there we go. Okay, there we go. Now, we've got her, and let's go ahead and just try to get that right in there. And let's include that. Okay. Right there. Good. Too far. Okay. So here we have it. This is the rock we're going to do the same thing. We're going to select. We're going to modify, expand 1 pixel, and then Control J. So now we have the background. If I turn off this main picture, you can see we still have a background sitting around behind us. She's just all cut out from the picture. So the background is important because I can turn off the furthest back, I can turn off the mid, and I can turn off the forefront, right? So everything that we're going to have is going to kind of fit inside of those categories. The girl is going to probably fit between layers 2 and 3 because 3 is up front, so we kind of want it to stand out a little bit more. What we could do is we could say, okay, well, where is she at, right? So let's come in here and let's do that. Let's come in here and say, well, this rock right here looks like this would be kind of where she's at. So we would want this rock kind of just right up to there, but not all the way back. Just like right there. Let's include that right there. Sort of like this. And say, okay, this is to the forefront. So let's do Control J. Control J. Okay, I did not do the expand because I still have that underneath it, see? I just made a layer that's on top. Alright, so this would be our furthest forward. So let's put these in order. This one would go up at the top. Then we have this one. And we have this one. And then we have that one last. Very good. So let's turn her back on. Now we have to work with her. She is a little more complicated. See, now there's a lot of factors to her that we know to keep into place. What is layered on top of what? Well, we can see that this part of her hand is layered on top of this part of her leg. So let's go ahead and go in and let's select that hand. Right. In fact, we could make this easier on ourselves if we just select her in general. Let's select all of her. I'm all about making things a little bit easier. So let's zoom in and let's just get all of her, because she'll be a pretty easy target once we can have everything where we need it. We don't want that. We do want this. We want to get all of her. We don't want this. We want, like I said, closer is better. We do want to include her heel. We need to include that. Looks like we do want to include that right there. We do not want to include this little part in there. We do want to include her finger. Definitely want to include her toes. Make sure all of those are in the picture. If we don't, it'll come out a little wonky in the end. Here. Okay. Let's slide up her here and we'll see her hair. It kind of goes a little over here. We don't want to go that far though. So let's cut it back a little. We want to catch it right here. Cut it back a little. Alright, we definitely want to get our hair up there. That looks pretty good. Let's see, over here we're going to do about the same. Oh, we went a little far right there. Okay. Alright, let's move along into her back. We got a little right here. Okay. Oh, her back right here is not very good, huh? So let's go ahead and let's fix that. Yeah, there we go. Alright. So it looks like we got it. We got her. We've got her selected perfectly. And now let's... What do? We do select, modify, expand by 1 pixel, and then we do Control J. Now that means we're going to get, it's not a perfect. So if we click here and turn these off, you're going to see a little bit of that background in there, just a touch. We can always take that out if needed, but I'm going to leave it in there because it's going to help us. So now we can work with her in the sense of how we do this. Okay, now let's go back to where we were, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to select her hand. Now remember, we're on this layer that we just cut out, so we have a little bit more lenient. We can do things a little bit easier, because now you see it's automatically going to select up to the edge when we go over. But it's not going to try to get any more of that background, because that background is not part of the, it's not part of it. So it can't select it. Alright, so now we have her hand. There is her hand. We're going to do, we can go ahead and do select, modify, expand 1 pixel. I think we're not going to do that 1 pixel. Let's see what happens with it if we just take this straight up. Let's do Control J. Let's see, if we take her away, her hand looks like it copied pretty darn good. So we're going to stick with that. Okay, there's her hand. Now, if we continue looking at this picture, what's the next thing we notice about it? Her leg comes out, and her foot. Her foot sticks out past this leg, so let's do her foot. Her foot would be the next big part. And we don't want the whole area of her foot, but we do want some of it. So let's take this part out, because we just want her foot that comes forward. Right there. We want it right there, just like that. So that's the part we need next. Let's do Control J. Alright, this one looks like it actually might come even closer than our hands, so let's move it up. So now, wait a second, we want to move it up over here, right? Because that's where they need to go. Now when we come back, we can see, I think we're pretty much at her leg at this point. We're going to follow her leg with her foot that comes around and right to here, right to the bottom of her backside. So let's go ahead and let's grab this right to there. Right. Nice. Now let's try to grab it all the way over. In fact, let's cut out the black part here. Just so we've got her fleshy part. Just the fleshy part. Right, just like that. Perfect. Now I'm going to do Control Alt click and take that out, and I'm going to take out that too. So now we're left with just the parts of her foot that are left here. You can see we do have some parts that sort of stick over. We're gonna take that out. Okay, so it's just her foot, or just her leg. Right. So okay, we can go with this. In fact, you know what, you may be able to just leave that in there. Nah, we'll take it out. Okay, we just want her leg. We don't want this part back here though. So we want to cut that out. We don't want that part back there, but we do need to remember that that part back there is important, and we're just not including it at this stage in the game. So we want to just kind of try to work right in here. I'm going to cut that down a little. Alright, so there's her leg. Again, we're going to do Control J, and boom, we've got her leg. We're going to move her leg up to under her foot. So again, if I turn her off, this is what she looks like right now. She's got a hand, she's got a foot, she's got a leg. That's about all. And that's fine. That's perfectly fine. Let's put her back up. There she is again. She came back to say hello. Now the body we know is under this hand. Okay, and this hand is over this leg. So we're going to do this hand, this leg, and we're going to do the body and the arm right there all at one time. And then we'll move on to her head and her hair. Her hair sits in front of her head, her face. So her face will be the furthest back, other than all of this. So let's go ahead and let's grab her, go over to her again, and let's get this hand. Grab that thumb, grab the fingers. We don't want to grab all this though. Nope, we don't want all that either. We don't want that either. We just want to grab her fingers right there. Okay, Get that finger all the way though. Perfect. Subtract right there, add right there. Okay, we want to come down and we want to go right. Well, just got it right for us. Perfect. That's exactly what we want to see. Other than that right there. Oh, maybe a little right here too. I'm a little bit of a perfectionist, but it's going to look pretty cool when we're done, I think. So let's go ahead and do Control J on this one. Now we've got a hand. We want to move the hand up because the hand goes under the leg. Now we want to grab this back leg here. So let's select her again and let's grab this back leg. Get it right up to the other one. There we go. That's about what we want. I want to make it go just a little bit more there. Good. Perfect. Okay. Control J. Let's grab this and let's move it up underneath there. Remember, we're just putting right above this one. This one is this background right here. Okay, so if you couldn't see that, remember we split the rock. So, it's right there. Pretty much where she's sitting. Okay, so now, we're going to go ahead and say, Fantastico. Let's go back to her, and we've got this arm, we've got this leg, let's get this body. Let's get this body. Now remember, we did not do this part in here, so that has to be part of the body that we get. Alright, and we got to get all this over here. We pretty much got to get, like, her whole body. Let's try to take and just grab a whole bunch here. Right? Now we're going to Control-Alt-Click, and we don't want to take things we've already got. We'll click on all the things we've already got, which will take those out, leaving us with this right here, which we can just kind of come in and select. Just clean it up a little. Whatever. Alright, so let's go with this. Let's do Control J. Now we have the body. The body, as we know, comes in at the back here. Now we're going to do the hair. So let's select her and let's select a hair. We want to get all of her hair. All of her hair. We do not want her face. We want to take out her face and just get her hair. Sort of like this. Now you can go further and further and further and further into this and add as many levels as you want. I'm not going to add too many levels. I'm just going to do it kind of like this here. So Control J. This is her hair. And then one more, and you can guess what it is. That's right, it's her face. I want to just not get her hair so much there, but I do want to have a little bit of overlap because her face is an important focal point. Let's see. Let's do a Control J right there, and we'll pull this one up. And this one, it's said, like I said, it's in the back. So her face is under her hair. Now, if I turn this girl off, we should see some stuff here. We see a couple little areas where it just doesn't really work for us. So what we can do is we can turn her back on, and we can say, okay, well, where do we have these issues, and are they a big deal? So let's do a control on her, and let's unselect everything. That is her. And let's see what we come out left with. Control Alt. Click. So this is the parts that we're left with. These parts are probably kind of important. That one looks like it should go with the hair up there. So what we can do is we're going to throw another layer here. This one's in between the hair and there. So let's see, this doesn't look like that's so important. We'll just make that go away. Oh, look at there. You need to be selecting on her though when we do that. So Let's see, let's just make this go away here. The rest of that looks like it could probably be done in in the hair level. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this layer and we're going to come up to where we have that layer that we made. We're going to delete that layer we made. Yes, and we're going to go click here and layer, new layer via copy. Just move it on up here, click this layer 12 and do Control E. That brings it on down. So now if I make her disappear, we still got the hair there. So we're good. Let's go ahead and let's fix up the face a little. The face, as we know, is one of the last ones, so let's zoom in on the face. You can see we do have a little bit of white pixelation here. We're just going to go with our smudge tool. Very small. Very, very small. That's, see, I did things with just a lot of pixelation here, apparently. Or let's see if I can just do the healing brush tool. I cannot do the healing brush tool at that level. Maybe this level. And let's grab the smudge and just... Leave me at the low level pixel we're at, it doesn't really matter. This is on the hair level. We just want to fill them in. Alright, what do we got here? We got something on the leg level. You can tell the leg level is right there. We just don't want any pixels hanging out saying, hey, I'm not working here. So we got some on the hand level. Hand level was located here, I believe. Oh, that's the leg. There we go, there's the hand. So let's see if we can zoom in a little bit more. Okay. It's good enough. Alright, so we've got everything accounted for. We can actually turn things off in order. This one, of course, you're not going to see unless I take off that other one, which I can do. Let me go and find this other one. I'm going to select this so we can see it all even like. And let's come down here to this one, and we're going to just, this is there, we're going to delete. There we go. So now, what we've got is the front. We can just tear things apart as we go. And see her slowly get torn to shreds right in front of our eyes. Until there is nothing left. Perfect. So we now broke it down into depth. The depth of the picture. Now, since we've done that, that's fantastic. We've got this one called color groups. I'm going to be lazy, and I'm going to delete this, and I'm going to delete this. Because I'm lazy, I'm going to right click and I'm going to do duplicate group. And I'm going to call this one, alright, the BW, I can write the depth. Alright, so, being lazy like I am, I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to come in here, and I'm going to go to Image, Adjustments, Desaturate. Every single one of these. It's Shift Control U. It would just be easier if I did Shift Control U, 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 Shift Control U. And lastly, Shift Control U. So everything is now desaturated, aka black and white. So, okay, I have a whole bunch left on this. This is going to be a really long video. So I'm going to break it up into lots of little parts. I know a little later on I would say I'm going to put a part 2, but actually that's going to be a little bit further than a part 2. we're going to stop right here at the roughly 30-minute mark for this part 1, and then we'll continue in part 2 because we're still very creative and we've got a lot more to go. The end result is definitely worth the wait.